Hey everyone, welcome back to the VSO Gun Channel. It's great to have you here as always, and thank you for tuning in. I had intended to do a video today on the most egregious violation of your civil rights ever to pass the House of Representatives, but I haven't fully reconciled my political views with the commands of my God yet. It's in there, I just got to massage it out a little bit more. I think that you all know what it is that I'm talking about, but if you would like to see that video, then sound off in the comments section down below. But you and I need to have a talk about when should you lose your rights? Because I've made a couple videos over the course of the last couple weeks, and I see these continuous themes popping up in the comment section, and the only thing that I can attribute it to is brainwashing. I want to say stop and shake you and be like, listen to the words that are coming out of your mouth. Are you literally listening to what it is that you are saying? Are you considering the implications of what it is that you're saying? So that's what we're going to talk about here today. Relatively short video after we hear a word from today's sponsor. Quick service announcement for all of y'all. We have now 2 discount codes prepped up for you guys over at Mission First Tactical. One is for the all day everything stuff, everything from their backpacks to their drinkware to the holsters to even the new translucent magazines that they just came out with. Really like the purple ones, by the way. And then a second code that is for everything that is getting ready to go away. That is going to be a rolling list that's going to change with time, but it's going to be like 50 or 60% off in many cases. So you can find all that information over at the affiliates page, and special thanks to Mission First Tactical for making today's video possible. I think the best way to do this is to just read some of the comments. These are in reference to illegal immigrants and the right to self-defense. I agree they have the right to bear arms, but upon illegally entering, they have forfeited that right by committing a federal crime. Considering a lot of them are criminals and have ties to gangs, no. Nope, broke the law, crossing illegally. Felony charge, no gun. You guys get the idea. On and on and on. The uniform tropes of they committed a crime, or they are a felon, or they are a criminal, therefore we need to disarm them. They lose their rights because of this particular status. I'm going to ask you a question. Where in the text, history, and tradition of the United States does it say that you can remove someone's constitutionally protected, God-given, and inalienable rights? Some people will point to the due process of law, as in you have these rights until they are removed through due process of law. However, in the text, history, and tradition of the United States, the only time when someone was deprived of their natural right to self-defense, as in natural right to have a weapon, were in very limited circumstances, as in when they are currently incarcerated. If somebody is physically in jail, or prison, you could say, then they are not armed. However, when they were released from jail, they got their weapons back, historically, period. The other times when people were disarmed were in 2 instances. When they were in sensitive places, which is the term that we're using today. It's not a historically used term, but that's what we've ascribed to them. And that was built around the concept of we are going to have a very, very densely packed place, and the potential for damage having a bunch of closely packed bodies if somebody has a negligent discharge is pretty high. So in the interest of preventing casualties from accidents, we're going to say, hey, leave your guns at the door. You get them back as soon as you leave, right? And then the last one is this person has had too much to drink. They are currently intoxicated. You take their guns from them, and then when they sober up, you go get them from the sheriff in the morning. That's it. So the concept of a prohibited status is absolutely unconstitutional. And let me break this down fairly simple for you, because I hear the term felony thrown around a whole lot. I think that a lot of people have been backed into the corner today because there's been such an extreme response to legalism. They feel as though they have to support the rule of law in all circumstances. And the truth of the matter is that just because it's the law does not make it right. There is a such thing as an unjust law. And that is baked into the whole concept of Americanism, is that we were born out of fighting against unjust laws. Just because somebody broke the law does not mean that they actually did anything wrong. It just means that they did not adhere to the arbitrary standards that were set in that particular instance. Thomas Jefferson: if a law is unjust, a man is not only right to disobey it, he is obligated to do so. It's not really hard to understand or conceptualize that your government, being as rogue as it is and being power hungry as it is and being as into its own sustainment, could write a felony today, make it up today, and charge you with it tomorrow. Does that suddenly mean that your natural right to self-defense, you being a completely peaceable citizen and all that sort of stuff, but because they made up some law that you were implicated in, that you now experience the evaporation of your natural rights, your civil rights? I don't think that that works whatsoever. So the other thing that I would bolt onto that is there are lots of things that are considered felonies that get people caught up on a regular basis that have no basis on their safety in public. If someone is a danger to society to the point where you cannot release them on the street with all of their rights, their natural rights, then why the fuck are they on the street to begin with? Period. If someone is a danger to society, they are a danger to society whether they can gain access to a kitchen knife or whether they can get access to a howitzer. They're the same. So why is that person on the street? And you might say, well, Kurt, we have this problem where we have these activist judges that are releasing people, but that shouldn't be released. Well, hey, you know what? Maybe if those people that they are actively releasing had access to all of their rights, maybe a judge would think twice about releasing those people on the streets. If the prohibitions that are currently in place that do not jive with constitutionality were repealed, because they are absolutely unconstitutional and they are currently being challenged at the Supreme Court, I might add. So yes, I understand that the system is broken, but continuing to use the broken parts because they accomplish the thing that we like is not a principled take, right? And that means, so I'll leave it like this. Having principles on something means that you may be called upon to defend something that you don't agree with. And while I don't believe that violent criminals should have access to weapons, the reason they shouldn't have access to weapons is because they should be locked up and throw away the key. Because if they are truly a danger to society, then they should be incarcerated. If they are deemed not to be a danger to society, well, if they are rehabilitated, then they should be restored to full citizenship status. Anyway, think twice about the implications of saying, oh, well, this criminal, blah, 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 because you could very easily be called a criminal tomorrow for something that was made up today.